So welcome back to Keeping It Fresh. I'm Aaron Gemmel. Happy to be back, and I'm even more excited to be talking to the actress that's joining me today. It's time to get psycho. You know her as Nora Dershlit. They had this obsession of kidnapping Carly, Sam, Freddie, Gibby, and Spencer and iCarly, and Sam and Cat. She's also appeared on Henry Danger, Disney's Good Luck Charlie, and is now a part of a very prestigious improv group in LA called the Groundlings. It's the awesome and very talented Danielle Morrow Rowley. Thank you, Danielle, for joining us.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Of course, thank you. So, so get started, Danielle. How did you get started in acting? And did you always know that you wanted to, be an actor? Did you always know that this is you wanted this to be a career for you?
I always loved, when I was a little girl, I wanted to be in theater. I wanted to be doing sketches. You're probably too young for this, but there was this sketch show similar to Saturday Night Live, but it was called In Living Color. And my brother and I would watch it and we would reenact the sketches from there for my mom, and perform and do all that stuff. So I always loved performing and doing acting, theater, all that stuff. And then when I was in high school or junior high school, my mom found a theater near me that taught improv. And it was a small theater actually run by the mom of Vanessa and Laura Morano, two amazing child stars, actresses now. And so she kind of taught me all the improv and theater. And then she was the one who recommended that I go to join the Groundlings and take classes from them. And that's where it kind of all started.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay. Wow, that's fantastic. So now jump into iCarly first off, along with most of the people that are watching. Thank you for making us laugh as kids and also freaking us out a little bit as well. So take us through you getting the part for Nora for the first iPsycho and iCarly.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that I could do both, bring laughter and fear to people. I think it's a good balance. When I got that part, I obviously auditioned for it, and I found out later I got it, and I was very excited to have a job, but I didn't realize how big iCarly was at the time. I was kind of like, oh, great, I got a job, yes. And then I filmed it, super fun. And it actually, from what I remember, I don't think it aired until maybe like a year after we filmed it. There was a big time stretch between when we filmed it and when it aired. Um, so again, kind of like excited I had the job, but not really realizing how big it was. And then someone told me, oh, it's not just an episode, it's going to be like a big episodic movie. Like it's going to be 2 hours, like this big thing. And I was like, okay. And then it aired and it just was like, it did so well and people are loving it and people are freaking out. And I was like, oh, I guess iCarly is a really huge deal. I didn't realize how big it was. And then obviously now I know how lucky I was to have not only landed a role, but to have landed a role in such an iconic TV show that is still able to connect with an audience now. I feel so lucky.
Yeah, I mean, it's still the show's still it's not only the original, but the reboot is still very popular. And along with the iCarly Victoria spinoff, Sam and Cat, that's still popular on Paramount Plus as well. So, I mean, just you going through basically all three of those is awesome that you're able to be a part of that for so long.
Yeah, I feel so lucky. I really do.
Yeah. And so what was it like working with Miranda, Jeanette, Nathan, Noah, and Jerry? I mean all those just not only great people, but fantastic actors as well.
Oh, it was so great. And I agree with you. Great people and great actors. Um, with Miranda, Nathan, and Jeanette, when I first met them, they were young kids. Like I was like an older person playing a teenager, but they were actual teenagers. So when I first met them, they, had their parents on set. They were very young. And then the more I would come back, obviously they would grow up. So it was fun to do, like, think back to my first episode when they were these young kids to then doing the reboot and doing later episodes where they were adults. And it was like, oh my gosh, you guys are adults now and we're all adults together. I don't know. It just was fun to see them evolve as human beings and as actors, getting to know their sense of humor. Jerry, before I booked iCarly, he and I were in a Groundlings class together. We were in a writing class together. So I met him before we worked together professionally, and I've always thought he was one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life. I still think that. He's so hugely talented and I love him.
Oh yeah, I think there's a soft spot in all of America for Jerry Trainer because everyone online says, "Oh, protect this man. He's a national treasure." So I mean everybody that was on iCarly is in a sense a national treasure because of just of every episode, all the laughs, even the serious episodes and stuff like that. I mean it definitely made my childhood along with a lot of the people that are going to be watching this as well. So I thank you for that.
Oh, well, I did very little other than
Oh,
be a
you did. No, you did a big part. Believe me. I remember watching the first time that you appeared on the show, and I remember where I was at. I remember, what they because it was a big premiere. They promoted it a lot. And I remember watching it. I'm like, man, this Nora character is really creepy.
He is.
Yeah. And so with that character, is it true? I read this somewhere. I wanted to ask you, is it true that you had the first time you were Nora that you wore like earplugs in your nose to make yourself congested?
Oh yeah, that okay. So that was not a choice I made. They were like, by the way, we're gonna put earplugs up your nose, and we want you to get a contact. So you couldn't really tell the contact on screen, but they really wanted me to have that every time I came back as Nora. So I had one blue contact in one of my eyes, so it'd be like my regular eye, and then a blue contact to have that double color. And then they got like an earplug and they cut it in half and put it up my nose to make my nose wider, but also I guess to give me some sort of like to sound maybe more congested. But it really was so difficult to function because I was like mouth because I couldn't breathe out of my nose. So as I'm acting, and even in between sets, I'm just like like just breathing out of my nose really heavily. Luckily on the reboot, they were like, you don't have to do the earplugs, you don't have to do the contact. It's okay. We don't have to do that. So that was kind of a relief to not go back to that.
Well, and also that Nora was also Nora and Carly, Freddie, Spencer, everybody on the reboot is grown up. It was the more adult iCarly, so it made sense. So it made sense. So when iCarly ended on Nickelodeon in 2012, we thought it was the last time we would see all these characters that we loved for 5 years. But a few years later, you returned on Sam and Cat and the Special Super Psycho, including working with Ariana Grande. So to how did coming back? So how did you coming back to the iCarly Victoria spinoff coming about and working with Ariana and that whole cast of Sam and Cat?
It was so cool. It was so fun. Again, I felt so lucky to be asked to do an episode, another really iconic episode, I think, where it was kind of like a Silence of the Lambs sort of spoof of that, which was so awesome to do. It was cool because it was a lot of familiar faces, but then new faces as well. So it was definitely a little bit of a different energy, but it was super fun. I felt so grateful to be able to have done that.
Yeah, and definitely it was, kind of a more, in a sense, more grown up Nora, but still teenage Nora, still up to her, kidnapping type of ways.
Yeah,
That instead, this time in that episode, you trapped Ariana Grande in a well. So, I mean, it's
exactly. To
um,
a
so
different level.
and then going to the reboot on Paramount Plus. I mean, obviously that was a no brainer for you when they got a hold of you and said, we want you to come back as Nora for the iCarly reboot. I mean, that was probably a no brainer for you, right?
Oh yeah, I was so excited that they asked me. Again, so grateful, so excited they asked me to come back. And that was a really fun experience too because the main, there was a lot of familiar faces on the cast, but then a ton of new people that they added on, and then the creatives were different, so it felt familiar yet different. So it was like a fun, refreshing thing, and obviously the reboot was a lot more adult in theme. Still that classic, fun sitcom iCarly style. So that was the same. But they are grown up. They're adults. And so it's going to be handling different topics. And so I loved it. I was so glad. Selfishly, I was like, I want to be on more, but it was
Yeah.
so great.
Well, and especially the way that the reboot ended with a two major cliffhangers. Maybe there's a chance that we can get maybe because Miranda Cosgrove has been tweeting out that she wants to do a movie to wrap everything up. And I could probably guess that, if they call you on that, you'd definitely be on board to wrap the
Oh,
entire series up.
totally, totally. I would love to. I don't know if there's room. I don't know if people want a wrap up of Nora, but yeah, they even if I was in the background, I would do it.
Yeah, yeah, maybe
Chicken.
we'll get to Maurice in a second. So Danielle, we're gonna do one of my favorite segments on the show. It's called Rapid Fire seven, just random quick questions, just for not only me but the viewers to get to know you as well. So starting off, favorite thing to do when you have time to yourself,
Watch reality TV.
and
Watch Bravo. Yeah.
what's your favorite reality show?
Right now, I'm loving Real Housewives of Orange County. I'm loving Traders. I've been watching the new Traders and I'm loving it. That is my jam right now.
Okay, favorite memory with Maurice, your chicken.
Oh, well, it's funny. Every episode I would do would be a different Maurice. So I will say the funniest thing for me was one time in between sets, they had a couple different chickens on hand in case one of them wasn't cooperating. And one of the chickens laid an egg. And I love that memory because I'm like, you know what? I love that while we were filming, just a chicken laid an egg. I thought that was amazing.
um, I know that you and your husband are very are avid I know he's an avid basketball fan. I know you've been to Laker games, so I got to ask you this: Michael Jordan or LeBron, who's the greatest of all time?
Like it's got to be Jordan, right? It has to be Jordan. LeBron is obviously amazing, but I feel like Jordan will be number one always. But LeBron is also amazing. This is not a LeBron slander by me saying that. I love LeBron.
But MJ number 23 will always be number one. So in my eyes too, being doing what I do for a career.
Yeah.
So your favorite family's takeout place, favorite place just to order in and just chill for the night.
Oh, that's my favorite, by the way, is just to order in, have a glass of wine, and relax on the couch. I would say my favorite, there's a really good Cuban place by us, and then probably Thai food. I feel like Cuban or Thai food is just so comforting. It just is warm, it's heavy. I love it. Anything like that.
Oh, nice. Your dream car that you would love to own.
Ooh, a dream car. Oh, that's a good one. Um, ooh, this one's stumping me because I'm trying to think. I feel like my answer, I'm so not a car person. Like I'm not maybe I'll just say a Cybertruck just to say it because I feel like I've been seeing a million Cybertrucks. I don't think that is my dream car, but my son loves Cybertrucks. So for him, I will say a Cybertruck.
And speaking of your son, what's the coolest thing about being a mom?
Oh, you enjoy everything so much more. Everything is more special. Life is more special. The holidays feel more exciting. Everything feels more exciting, and you really feel connected to life a lot more. I love it.
That's so great. And finally, your favorite thing about improv.
You never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to come out of your mouth, out of someone else's mouth. It is truly, it's very surprising, and it keeps you on edge a little bit.
Oh, interesting. So tell me real quick just about just your time at the Groundlings and just overall that experience and how it's helped you over the years to become such a multi-talented actress.
Well, the thing about the Groundlings that I connected with and loved so much, they're a very character-driven improv and sketch school. So it helped me create characters. It helped me figure out how to write for characters, how to speak and dress in their persona. So to me, that is so much about acting and thinking about who you're portraying and how they talk and how they move and how they act. And the community that you meet there is so special and supportive. And I'm still some of my closest friends I met through the Groundlings. So it's a really amazing place to be and learn.
That's awesome. And speaking of the Groundlings, in the last installment, we heard one side of the story. Now I want to hear your side. Take us through meeting your husband, and how did you know that you guys would be together forever?
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. So we actually met at a friend's show. A friend was having a burlesque show. She is a friend who was taking a Groundlings class with me, and she had invited me and my our other friend who was in the class, who was my roommate, to go. And it was after one of our classes, and I was really tired. I was like, "Oh, I don't know if I'm gonna go. I'm tired." And then my roommate was like, "Let's just go." We told her we'd go, so I was like, "Fine." We go, and that's where I met Jeremy. And they have in between their sets a DJ play music. So Jeremy and I would just dance, and it would be so much fun. And we really had the best time. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm having the best time with this guy. And so when we met, it was way back when you could kind of message each other through Facebook. I don't even think Instagram was around. And so we were sending each other these Facebook messages back and forth. And then he sent me a message, like kind of saying, like, well, maybe we could go out and, hang out or something like that. Basically, ask me out on a date. And I responded, sure. And then I didn't hear anything. I was like, what happened? And I showed my roommate. I'm like, what happened? Did I misread the signals? I don't understand. We were totally going back and forth. And then he asked, I thought he was asking me out, and I was saying yes. But what had happened was he never got a notification that I responded to him. So he also thought the same thing. He also thought that he had asked me out and I didn't respond. So
Oh.
he coincidentally was also telling his roommate, I thought we were vibing, and I asked her out and then she didn't say anything. Anyways, long story short, luckily we figured out that it was the fault of Facebook and not the fault of each other. And we did end up going on a first date, and it just was the most fun first date. And I had that feeling. It's funny you asked, like, how did you know you were in love? And that first date, I remember just laughing so hard. He was so funny and made me feel so comfortable. It wasn't that awkward, like, hi,
Yeah.
like first date interaction, which can always be awkward because you don't know this person. And he was just making me laugh and feel so comfortable that I thought in my head, oh, this is special. This is different from other dates I've been on. So
Oh, wow. That's awesome. And I know that online you and Jeremy are portrayed as the iCarly power couple. I mean, Lewbert and Nora together forever. I mean, it's
it's
awesome.
the weirdest characters in real life.
But
Found love.
it's a very loud, very angry character in Lewbert, a crazy psychotic character in Nora, but offset, off camera, a great couple who have a wonderful family. So, and I understand at your wedding, you had some two pretty important VIP guests there.
We did. Who did we have?
The Morano sisters.
Yes, yes. Oh, hello. Yes, my lovely Murano sisters. They were there in attendance. Yes, I love them.
Yeah, and so are you still like involved? Are you still hang out with them? You still involved with them?
Yeah, they're still my really good friends. Vanessa and I actually are writing together. We've been writing for a while, and we have a couple projects that are out there, and hopefully they'll be made for you guys to watch. But Vanessa and I are very busy writing together and making some really fun stuff. So fingers crossed that they'll be in the right hands and they'll be made. And, I'll hopefully come back with you and promote them.
Absolutely. And speaking of promotions, Danielle, is there anything that you got going on right now or coming up that you want to get out there that people should know about or go out to follow or anything?
Right now, everything is in kind of this middle ground where we don't know if it's getting made yet. So hopefully, I'll hear something soon and be back to you, and with a more concrete path to watch some things that Vanessa and I have been working on.
Well, I for one am definitely looking forward to that. Danielle, thank you so much for joining me this morning, this afternoon, because I know it's morning for you, afternoon for me here. So again, really appreciate it. We hope you enjoyed this. Hope you enjoyed this installment. This was second installment with the wonderful Danielle Morrow Rowley, the second Rowley that has appeared on the show. So if you liked it, make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, share it, all that, and definitely we'll catch you in the next one. So as always, keep it fresh.